Okay, welcome to, this is going to be over Excel Chapter 2. This is video part 4. And in this video, we're going to be formatting our worksheet. So the first thing we're going to do is we've already talked about on our title, we are going to want to merge and center this. So we're going to select A1 using the white plus sign, go over through J1 to select all those cells we want to merge. And on our Home tab, we'll hit the Merge and Center button. Then we're going to do the same thing with row 2 for the salary report. We are selecting columns A through J. We're going to merge and center those. And we had to do them separately because you cannot do 2 rows at the same time. Okay, so now we're going to format both of these. So I'm going to select A1 and A2. We're going to go up here to our styles area, and we're going to make them both the title style. But then, so there's a distinction between our title and our subtitle. We're going to click on Salary Report, and we're just going to use our Shrink button. Up here, our Decrease Font button, and we're going to decrease it down one so that it is just a little bit smaller than our main heading. The other thing we want to do is we want to change the theme of our worksheet. Just like in Word, you can have themes, and themes are set styles and colors and fonts and different things. So we're just going to go to on our page layout tab under themes, and there's several different ones. You can kind of go through them and it'll show you what the fonts are going to be. We're going to go with the Basis, BASIS, located right here. It has the green. If you don't have this one, choose one that you think looks good. Okay. We're also going to our subtitle. Sorry, to our title and subtitle. We're going to select both of those again. And we want to change the background color of those so that they stand out just a little bit more. So with my fill color button or my paint bucket, I'm going to choose green accent 1 lighter 40%. If you don't have this exact color, choose something in the lighter 40%. We're going to click on it, and we're going to put, using our border button, we're going to come down and do a thick box border. Okay, once you click off of it, you can see your border. Now you can't see it on the top and side, but that's okay because whenever you go to your print preview, it will be there. Okay, the next thing we're going to format is our column headings and our row headings. So for the column headings, just like we did back in Chapter 1, we're going to select A3 through J3. And this time we're going to come up to our styles, and we're going to choose the heading 3 style, which is going to put just a light under green under it, line under it. Now if you had to choose a different theme, yours probably isn't green, it's a different color. We're also going to select the total row. So on row 13, I'm going to select A13, and I'm going to go all the way over to J13. Even though we don't have anything in this cell, we're still going to go ahead and do this total. And we're going to go up to our styles, and you guessed it, we're going to use the total style, which is going to put the single line to show that we're doing math and getting the total, and then the double underline to show that that is our total. So since totals is bold, let's go ahead and change the words highest, lowest, and average so that they are also bold. That way they stand out just a little bit more. Okay, now we're ready to format our numbers. And we have several different types of numbers. Okay, we'll start with our dependent column. Now these are not dollars, so we do not want to add an accounting style to them, but let's just center these numbers so that they stand out a little bit more. Okay. Next we're going to we're going to format our top row of dollars with the accounting style. So hours worked, be sure you do not include this because this is not a dollar amount. So we're going to start here with the $19.50 for the hourly pay rate in cell D4. We're going to highlight over through G4. We're going to skip H4, and using my control button, I'm also going to click on I4. So I have D4 through I4, except I did not do the H. And I'm going to go ahead and hit the accounting style, which is your $sign, to add the dollar signs to that. I'm also going to do the same thing on my total row. I'm going to select E, F, and G. Holding Control, I'm going to click on the I. So I have 4 cells highlighted on my total row, and I'm going to make those the accounting style. The next thing we're going to do is all the numbers that are dollars, but they're not accounting style. We are going to change so that they are the comma style. So I'm going to select D5 over through G5, which is my hourly rate, gross pay, federal tax, state tax. I'm going to go all the way down through each one of my people, from Miss Green down through the last person. I'm going to hit Control, and I'm also going to select those same numbers in my net pay. Okay, then I'm just going to hit the comma style to turn those into comma styles. When you use the comma style, you'll notice that a lot of them did not need commas, a few of them did, but the main thing is that it evened it out, so we have 2 decimal places and everything. Okay, we haven't done anything with our hours worked column, so we'll go ahead and format our hours worked. And to format this one, we're also going to make it the comma style. Okay. We still have to do our percentage column. So we're going to highlight all the numbers in the percentage column. And this time we're just going to hit the percent sign. It's going to change those down to percents. It shows it with no decimal places. We do want to have 2 decimal places. So here is your reduce or increase decimal and reduce decimal. So we're just going to increase the decimal. We're going to click that button twice to add 2 decimal places to that. The next thing we're going to do is on our date. We want to format the date. Okay, we show it with the 4 years for the 4 digits for the year. And we've talked earlier in the other video about how that's usually important in accounting. However, these are our hire dates. We know we did not hire anybody in 1910 or in 2110. So we're just going to select all those dates. We're going to go up here to your number formatting area. And we're going to hit the launcher button. That's the little button down here in the right hand corner. Whenever you click it, it's going to bring up some different options. There are several different types of formatting. We want the date, and we're going to pick the one that is 3/14/12. Okay, so it's not going to put a 0 in front of the month, and it's only going to show 2 digits in the year, and we'll go ahead and hit OK for that one. Okay. Down here, we need to format these numbers. So I'm going to select D14 over through G14 and down through row 16. So basically, I have not included hours worked, and I have not included my tax. I'm going to hit Control, come over here and get the 3 numbers that's in my net pay column. Okay, we didn't include the percent because we're going to make these a currency style. And I also did not include hours worked or dependents. So this time, we're going to add what's called a floating dollar sign. Up here, we have a fixed dollar sign, meaning it's always going to be at the left of the cell. If I come up here to my launcher button in my number format box, and I come down to currency, it's going to say how many decimal places do you want? Well, we want 2. We want it to have a dollar sign, and we want the negative number to be in parentheses. So we're going to choose the 3rd one down there. And we learned before that in accounting, you do not write the negative sign. You put your negative in parentheses most of the time. So then we'll hit OK. Okay, this time we have what's called a floating dollar sign, meaning it's right up next to the number. Okay. We're going to do another kind of formatting. This one is called conditional formatting, meaning we're going to format it based on whether it meets the criteria that we want. So in conditional formatting, a lot of times you use this to bring out things so that you can bring emphasis to things. For example, whenever I used to keep a grade book, I had a conditional formatting that would shade a person's name with red if they had an F in the class. So we're going to do some conditional formatting at this point. For our conditional formatting, what we're wanting to draw attention to is if an employee worked more than 70 hours during our pay period. So we're going to begin by selecting the hours worked, and we're just doing C4 through C12. We don't need any of our totals in here, so just the hours worked for each employee. And to do the conditional formatting, under your Home tab, we're going to come up here to conditional formatting. We're going to click on it. Okay, there are some options it gives us. We can highlight cells greater than, there's rules for greater than, less than, top bottom value, so if you want to find the top 10%, data bars, which will give you a gradient fill based on, it's almost like a chart inside your spreadsheet, a color scale, and you can then do an icon set. Okay, we could do it with the highlight cells rule, but we're actually going to go into the new rule so that we can see all the setup for it. And it says, what kind of rule are you wanting to do? And we're going to choose format only the cells that contain. Okay, so that is our rule, format only cells that contain. Format only cells with a cell value. And here we have several different options. We're going to choose greater than 70. Okay, so that's going to be our rules. Format only cells that contain cell value greater than 70. Now here is where we pick what we want it to look like. So we're going to hit format, and we're wanting to change the color. So here's our color of the font to be this reddish orange. It's called red accent 2, darker 25%. If you don't have this one, just choose some kind of a red color so that it will stand out. Okay, and it gives you a preview of what that's going to look like. Oh, made a mistake. Sorry, back up. We did not want to change the font. We wanted to change the fill. So on the color, we'll change that back to automatic. Sorry. Go back to the fill over here on the fill tab, and here we're going to pick that red color that is that's going to be right here. Okay, on the font, we do want to change the font, but we want to change the color to white. Okay, so we have our font white, make sure our fill stayed, and we're going to hit OK. Okay, here's going to give you a preview. It's going to be red with white font, and we're going to go ahead and hit OK. You should have 3 numbers that changed color. Okay, so you can see that easily. You know that the Green, Nicholas, and Williams all worked over 70 hours. Now, why did it not select Zen? That's how you pronounce that name. Sorry if I did that wrong. Because we said greater than 70. He only worked 70. 70 is not greater than 70 is equal to 70. And we said greater than, so that's why he was not selected. Okay. The next thing we need to do, you guys have probably, this has probably been driving you nuts the whole time. We need to change our column width. So we're going to do this a little bit differently on this one. We're going to select columns A and B with the heading up here. So I want to click on the actual letter A. I'm going to then hold down my mouse button and also select column B. So I'm going to do 2 columns at the same time. Then I'm just going to put my mouse here between my B and C, get my double-headed arrow, and double-click. So I actually did 2 columns at the same time instead of doing one of them at a time. And it made them each the proper width. Now we didn't do that to the others because we're going to actually set the column width for those. So on this one, now we're going to come over here just to column G. I'm going to click on it, And then we're just going to drag, and we want this column to be exactly 10.25. So you can see at the